Welcome to Applying to PRA and PRISM. PRA stands for Planning for Recreation Access, and PRISM is the grant database we developed here at the Recreation and Conservation Office, or RCO for short. I am Beth Auerbach, a grant manager at RCO. In this video, I will walk you step by step through the process of applying for a PRA grant as we create an application for a pretend park. Before we jump into the grant application, I want to share a few things with you that might help you through the process. They can all be found on the Planning for Recreation Access webpage, and it includes the grant manual, the applicant's to-do list, which has step-by-step information to help you through this process, and also some tips and tricks about how to work through PRISM. And also for site-specific plans, there's a mapping tool you can zoom into your project location, and that will help you with the objective scores. The PRA application process will entirely take place in PRISM. To access PRISM, click on the PRISM login button from the RCO homepage at www.rco.wa.gov. Once you log into PRISM, you will be directed to your project dashboard, where you can start a new application by clicking the button in the left corner of the page. To start a new application, you will be prompted to enter some basic information for your project. First, you will need to select your organization by beginning to type into the first text box. Next, you will select the project type, either PRA site-specific planning, such as this example, or PRA prose planning. Then you will select planning from the third drop-down menu, and planning is the only option you can choose. And finally, you will create a unique title for your project. As you can see here, mine is titled PRISM Tutorial Pretend Project. After that, you select Start New Application. Once you enter the basic information, PRISM will generate the full application in a program called Application Wizard. This first page, called Parties, is where you will put information for the primary grant applicant, referred to here as the primary sponsor. Many of you may have partners for your projects. However, these partners do not need to be listed as secondary sponsors. If you wish to include a secondary sponsor, please first discuss this with your grant manager. A secondary sponsor is equally responsible for all contractual and fiscal obligations, and the use of one is rare. We'll stay on this page another moment while I orient you to the layout and functions of the application wizard. You will see a navigation tree on the left side of the screen that allows you to select the parts of the application that you would like to view or work on. You can also navigate through the application by using the Next button at the top of the screen here in the middle. If you use the Next button, the system will automatically save your project, so always make sure you either click Next or Save when you're working on a page. Also located at the top of the page is the Check Page for Errors button. This is a great tool to help ensure you entered all the information that is required on each page. The Contacts page is where anyone working on the PRA project will be listed. Each person will need their own PRISM account. For this example, my name is listed as the project contact. That's the main contact person for a grant application, so typically my name would not be in this field. Within a day or two of starting your application, RCO staff will assign a grants manager to your application. That person will be either me or Edison, and as you can see here, we are listed as a project manager in the column titled Project Role. You can add other people to your application if they will also be assisting. When adding people, you can choose their project role from the drop-down menu. For example, you could add an alternate or secondary contact, such as Kyle here, a billing contact, such as Haley, or a consultant, such as Leah. You can add multiple secondary contacts, multiple billing contacts, and multiple consultants. However, there can only be one primary project contact. The next page is called Program and Project Type. This will be information you already entered when you were setting up the application. On this page, you can edit the project title if you desire. The Worksite and Properties page is where you will enter the name of the property where the site design will take place. If grant funding is for a specific part of a property, such as a playground or athletic field, that should be listed as the worksite. Otherwise, the worksite and the property name can be the same. For PROS plan applicants, you will only be asked to enter a worksite. This can be the main office of a jurisdiction. The worksite details page maps the location of the project. First, enter the address, then click Zoom to, and the map will zoom to a closer location. You can scroll in further if desired. Then you can drag the red icon with the 1 in it over and center it on your project location. If you wish, you can also drag over the red dot with the car in it to show the access point. And if you have special information for accessing the site, that can go in the optional text box there at the bottom. The project proposal page is where you'll enter your project description, and as you can see, the PRA site-specific planning application does not request any other questions. However, the PRA PROS planning application does ask one question, and it's just a drop-down. The majority of your attention should be on the project description. A few things that I want to make sure you know about. There is a character limit, and if you click on this link, which I highly suggest, it will share examples and tips about writing your project description. The evaluation criteria page is where you'll find the narrative questions. This is how evaluators will score your project. Here is a copy of the PRA manual that shows the narrative questions for the PROS plan. As you can see, question number 1 and question number 2 are the same: need and opportunity for success. Question number 3 differs between the application type. In PROS plan, it is planning capacity, whereas in site-specific, it is engagement and partnership. In the PRA manual, you can find details about each of the questions. You can also find that by clicking the info icon next to each text box, which will expand. While you work through this, please make sure you pay attention to your character limits and also save often. Some people like to work on these narrative questions outside of PRISM in a Word doc or something similar. If you do that, please just make sure that when you paste it in, you double check that all of the spelling and characters are the same. Sometimes PRISM will add strange symbols or spaces, and then that will use up your character limits. So it's okay to use those outside Word docs. Just make sure you're careful once you paste in. The planning metrics page is where you will enter your cost estimates. As you can see, the PROS plan has eligible costs related to the development of a parks, recreation, and open space plan, whereas the site-specific planning elements include project development, contracted services, and cultural resources. You can use the budget worksheet found on the PRA webpage to help you with cost estimates if needed. When you click one of the boxes, it will provide a text field on the right side of the page where you can enter a cost estimate for your grant request. If you aren't including one of those project elements, you do not need to click the box. There's also the little yellow sticky note icons where you can add more information as needed. And I want to note here, this is not the sort of note you would typically include, but I want to mark that we're adding this note on the project metrics page. You'll see this again in just a moment. As you move through the application, you will have the option of checking each page for errors. The entire application will be checked at the end before you submit, so you can wait until then. But if you prefer to check as you go along, click the Check Page for Errors button at the top of the screen. If there is an error, for example, a required text is left empty, an error message will appear at the top of the page The page name will also indicate that there's an error by turning red and having an exclamation point. And you can see where the error is because it will be outlined in red on the page. The overall project metrics page is where you can put your completion date and, if this is a site-specific plan, what type of recreation facility you're planning. For completion dates, please see the PRA manual where we have suggested ranges of time that would be adequate for finishing your project. This also would set you up well to apply in the 2028 grant round for development funds. And here are the fields, since I can't scroll down on this page, that show the different recreation facility project types. This is not on the PROS plan application. The planning cost estimates page pulls information over from the planning metrics page. Remember how I said we'd see something again? That silly note that I put in and all of the costs were put in on the planning metrics page. If you want to make any changes to this page, you can do it right here in the white text boxes, or you can go back to the planning metrics page and make any changes there. On the cost summary page, you'll need to put in your grant request amount. One thing I haven't mentioned is that PRISM is used by over 30 different types of grant applications. So some of the pages aren't quite as intuitive. Whatever you're asking for in PRA, you're going to fill that in the box below. For grants that have matches, it is different. But since this is a no match grant, the amount that is in the gray table up above should match the amount that is your grant request. RCO has a team of archaeologists who will review every PRA site-specific project application. To assist them in accurately assessing your project location, you'll need to create an area of potential effect map. Once you get to this page of the application, please follow this link and take a few minutes to watch the video tutorial made by one of our Salmon grant managers. Under the map, the Cultural Resources page has a few questions about the history of the area. We are getting close to the end. The Attachments page is where you will upload a photo. This can be a photo of the park or the location where a site-specific plan is going to occur. It could be a photo that represents your project or represents your town if this is a PROS plan. To upload your photo, you'll click on Attach File or Photo, then Browse, and then you can select your file and choose Photo as the attachment type. That will automatically then check this button, and you will be good to save and move on to the next page. The next page is the objective staff score questions. The top 3 for the site-specific applications will fill in automatically, and these are based on demographics. As you can see here, there's 2 columns with text boxes. One is applicant challenge and one is RCO response. Because I'm an RCO staff member, this column is white for me. You will have these text boxes white and these will be grayed out. The questions are all based on demographics, and you can find out where the data is pulled if you go to the PRA webpage, click on Scoring Map for Site-Specific Projects, and then click on the link, This Interactive Map link, and zoom into your project location. It will provide more information about how your project location scored for these 3 demographic questions. For this last question, which is applicant grant history, this is the same for the PROS plan application. For staff scores, this is the only question for the PROS plan application. You will not see this score automatically entered until after technical review because staff actually need to go in and enter this one. These are automatic. All right, everyone, you made it to the last page of the application and you made it to the end of this tutorial. Here we have the Submit Application page. First, you will click Check Application for Error. If there are no errors, you will see a green check mark next to every page. If there is an error, you'll see a red exclamation point, and you just need to go to that page, correct the error, and then come back to the Submit application. Once you get all green check marks, then you can click the Certify button that you certify that this application is true. If you used AI, you're taking full responsibility for the accuracy of what you are submitting. After you click the Certify button, the Submit button will light up and you can click that. You'll get this text box. You do not need to include a note, but if you want to include any note to your grant manager, this would be the place to do it. Regardless of a note or not, you need to click OK and get this box. This is what we're after. Congratulations. And thank you so much for joining me today on the PRA application tutorial. Best of luck. Take care.